Am I the a-hole for making my stepfather an outsider at my wedding that he paid for?
Ooh, yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Well, let's find out. So I ruined the memory of the best day of my life because I was too blind to see what I was doing was hurting one of the most important people in my life. So I got married 2 months ago to the love of my life, and he finally opened my eyes to what I did. He showed me the perspective I didn't understand. I'm like on the edge of my seat now. I really want to know. I really want to know. When I was 5, my father left us. Just disappeared without a trace. He and my mom were already separated by this point, but he was still living with us. 3 years later, my mom started dating Rob. He was quite a bit younger than she was. I believe she was 34 and he was 26. Okay, let's go. Today, he is very wealthy. Not like a crazy age gap. It's like 8 years.
Not
10 years is where I'm like a little.
Yeah. I think it's a little bit better when it starts off at like. Wait, how old was he when they started dating?
26? 3 years later, my mom started dating Rob. He was
26.
She was 34. Rob was 26.
Okay, yeah, it's still like a big age gap, but I think as long as he's like above 25.
Yeah, I think it's more manageable.
Yeah.
Today, he is very wealthy. He wasn't when he met my mom. And he treats my mother like a queen. Whenever she is around him, she looks like the happiest person in the world. My younger sister looks a lot like me and mom, but her personality is for sure a reflection of her dad, always telling jokes and being just a nice person all around, while me and my mom are more serious and cold. Okay, you got both sides. You got both sides. That's good. You got yin and yang, hot and cold, funny and
twee and la.
Stale, sad, serious, cold. I don't know. As I got older, Rob became more present in my life. He got married to my mom and she got pregnant.
Slay.
I like that. Slay.
Slay.
But it was still pretty weird seeing him as a father figure, mostly because people would assume he was my brother all the time because he's so young. When I was in high school, I was dating this boy and he broke up with me at my friend's house. My mom was on the night shift and I had to ask Rob to pick me up. When he did, he comforted me, took me to ice cream, and when we got home, he told me something like this, without knowing what happened. Whoever made you sad doesn't understand that you are the best girl in the world and it's their loss. Don't beat yourself up because other people are too to see it. That is so cute.
Rob.
I just said to him, I wish you were my dad. He smiled and said he wished that too, and he could be if I wanted to. We left it at that. I never called him dad, but from that point forward, I saw him as a father, and I think he knows it. This is adorable. Put adorable in the chat if you think it's adorable. I finally reconnected to my biological father about a year ago. It happened. Disgusting.
No, I'm sorry. No, that's probably great.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. Maybe it wasn't
Maybe
great.
it's bad.
I finally reconnected with my biological father about a year ago. It happened because I got engaged. When I came to my mom's house one day, he was there and I couldn't even recognize him. He was way thinner than he was when I was a kid. He struggled for years with depression and substance use. My mom and Rob actually helped him get clean, and they even paid for his stay at a rehabilitation center. Rob is the best.
Amazing.
Rob is the best.
Rob's amazing.
Wow.
Give him an award because he's amazing.
Because he's robbing all our hearts today.
Robin Hood.
Robin Hood, yeah. They decided together that it was time for me to finally meet him again. OP's biological dad.
All right.
So I don't want to explore much on how this was, but all I have to say is that I'm glad to have him back in my life, and I'm glad for being able to help him heal. He suffered a lot, he got lost, but now he is at least trying. I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop.
Like right now, everyone's happy.
Everyone's happy, but we know these stories.
They're going to hurt Rob.
There's something.
They're going to hurt
Sarah says, I see you. I don't see it. I mean,
I know it's coming, but I don't see what's going to happen.
I see something on the horizon, and I think it's not going to be. Yeah, Josephine says, W in the chats for Rob. Agreed. W's in the chats for Rob, unless we're going to get some terrible information in the near future. So Rob and my mother paid for everything at my wedding, and everything was amazing. Oh, I think I'm seeing the ICUs.
Yeah.
I'm seeing the ICUs.
Well, I know what's happening based off the title.
But yeah, I don't. It's not going to be Rob though, or is it going to be? Oh,
well,
is it gonna be
don't
Rob?
spoil yourself.
Wait.
Keep going.
Oh yeah. Wait. Oh
Keep
man.
going.
Okay. Oh no. All right. Rob and my mother paid for everything at my wedding, and everything was amazing. Again, Rob is rich now.
Rob's rich.
Yeah, Rob's
He's young
rich.
and rich.
Yeah, Rob's young, rich, kind, like a whole package.
6'5",
6'5",
blue eyes. Trust
finance.
fund.
The church was beautiful. My husband looked amazing.
No.
The one mistake I made,
No.
I chose my biological father over Rob.
To walk her down the aisle.
What do we think? What do we think about that? Is that good of OP to do? Bad of OP to do? Should OP choose Rob or her bio dad to walk down the aisle? Really quick, pausing here. What do you think, Sophia?
This is tough because I understand why I would choose Rob. I understand why OP would think about choosing her dad because she's just started this new relationship with him and there's kind of this like tradition of your father walking down the aisle. However, we know who's been there for OP and it's been Rob. And I think that what OP should have done is change the tradition somehow to
two dads.
You got
two
to
arms.
include both of them.
You can just loop them both
you
in.
don't have to stick with both traditions. And I think that it seems like OP wasn't even thinking about that.
But something I'm thinking is if Rob is the best guy in the world, yes, Lysandra Rivera, Rob will understand.
That's what I was about to say. Rob, I feel like Rob would get
Rob would understand.
Rob gets everything.
Samantha says action over
Which is
blood,
why he should,
which I understand. Like choose Rob. Like I would understand. I would understand choosing either person.
I understand both.
I don't think there's a wrong.
I think
decision.
she should have gone with both.
Yeah,
so I think she should have had both people.
It seems like 92% of you think Rob should be chosen, but let's keep going and see what happens. So I chose the man that did abandon me for over 20 years over the one that took me as his own and gave me everything he could when he didn't have to. I chose the man that broke my mother's heart over the one that saved her. I don't know why I did that. Looking back on it, it feels so effing stupid. My dad didn't deserve to walk me down the aisle. My dad didn't deserve to be in all the pictures with my mom and my husband's parents. It should have been Rob. I don't know. I think I was compensating for the time lost with my dad. Everything was still so fresh with him. I was helping him out. He talked to me every day. I felt he deserved to be back in my life.
Oh, Kimberly Fine is a great comment. OP was probably afraid that jilting her bio dad by not bestowing the honor upon him, she'd risk being abandoned a second time.
That is true.
That's a great comment.
Kimberly Fine.
I don't think OP recognizes that consciously, but that might be an unconscious fear.
I think that could potentially be an unconscious fear for sure.
And also, Just Cat says now she gave into the dad fantasy. I think she had that kind of like rush of my dad is back in my life. I can have that moment that I wanted of walking down the aisle with my dad. And I think she wasn't thinking about Rob, which is not.
But
not
again,
good.
I think Rob will understand.
Yeah.
Hopefully. Well, when we were deciding who would give speeches, we had to cut some.
No.
Because it was just too many. And me and my husband didn't really like the idea of hearing speeches for an hour and a half. So we decided for 5 people each. When I gave the list to my husband, he even asked, "No Rob?"
No, even your husband pointed it out.
And I said, "Yeah, my mom is already doing one."
Your mom is not Rob.
The others I chose were 2 of my bridesmaids, my mom, my sister. She really pushed for it. And again, my dad.
Okay, no.
One bridesmaid.
Number one bridesmaid.
Maid of honor.
One thing to walk down the aisle with your dad, which I still think is not necessary. I don't think that's the right decision. I think they could have gone both. But to give your dad, who has not been in your life, has just recently got back in your life. This is a new acquaintance, if you think about it. This is a new person in your life.
No, Rob.
Over Rob?
Rob was there.
Rob, what is your dad going to talk about? He's like, I've been talking to OP for the last couple months.
Hey, walking down the aisle. How was that?
Yeah. And he's like, I wasn't there for 20 years, but
Emma Bayer 26 says this is breaking
speech.
My heart for Rob.
Yeah. No, this is so sad.
I am sad.
OP a-hole.
But let's keep reading.
A-hole move.
Yeah, a-hole move OP. Come on, I understand, it's a it's more of a toss-up with the walking down the aisle.
But to not give Rob a speech when you were
let everyone else speak and then just add Rob.
Add Rob. Why was it so why was it such a,
one more speech isn't going to break the bag.
5? Yeah. Come on. Give Rob a speech or get rid of one of the bridesmaids.
And Rob literally paid for everything.
Rob paid for everything and you won't even giant a-hole. You did not need 2 people to speak from your bridesmaids, and you definitely didn't need your dad to speak.
Also, between which one, Rob, Biodad, or both, 62% of you are still rocking with Rob.
Yeah. Well,
1% Biodad.
I think it's Rob or both.
Do you think Rob will be sad?
Yeah. I think I don't think he'll bring it up because we know Rob.
We know Rob.
That's
we know Rob.
But I do think he'll be like sad.
All right. Well, let's see what happens. So my husband said I should reconsider. He even thought of giving up one of his to put Rob in.
Your
husband.
Oh my God.
Okay, so maybe the husband saved it. Nope.
I read ahead.
Nope. I said it was fine. He didn't need to do that. My whole thinking when doing this was Rob has my sister. He will have his moment. This was the only chance my dad had. You can do both.
You suck.
But I went too far. I completely cut him out of the party, basically. If you look at the photos, it doesn't even look like he went. My mom looks like she is faking a smile in half the pictures. I don't have a single picture with him. He only appears in group pictures and some with my husband. I only realized all of this when I texted Rob 2 days ago asking him about a gift I'm giving my husband for his birthday. He answered, then asked about my car that is with a mechanic friend of his. He answered. Then I asked him something about my insurance. He did not answer.
It's so much worse that OP doesn't even realize that she did anything. Like she's so out of touch.
I know. Maybe
with
she had
other
a shrimp
people's
trip.
emotions that she's just, forging ahead in this path of destruction.
I'm so sad.
I'm so sad for Rob.
Oh. A little over an hour later, my mom called me. She just said, "Do you have no shame? Do you not understand what you did?" I just listened and she told me to not talk to Rob for now. I was just so effing confused. I got home and told my husband, and he just said he knows what she is referencing, but he will talk to her first. Later, he showed me the wedding photos. He went step by step on everything I have listed here. He talked calmly and broke it down for me. By the end, I was crying so much that I had a headache. What an inconsiderate I am. He told me that he and my mom didn't tell me anything before the party because Rob asked them not to. He understood that it was important for me, for my father, to be a big part of this day. And when they protested, he said they should not make me worry about these small things.
They should have told OP.
I'm gonna cry.
This is so sad. They should have brought this up
Look
before
at
the
these
wedding.
glassy eyes right now.
I mean, OP should have known, but
This is so sad.
why would you put Rob through this?
Oh. I don't know what changed from before the party to now. My mom only tells me that he needs a bit of time and that he will talk to me soon. My husband keeps telling me that I made a mistake, but Rob will be understanding.
Of course he will.
And will forgive me.
Of course he will.
And I know he will. He 100% has already forgiven me. He probably felt something when I was texting him that day that broke him down. I don't know what I said to trigger him at that moment, but also doesn't really matter. I did the real damage at the party, probably since he appeared to be fine with everything else before it. It was not fine by any means. I have to make it up to him. I don't know how, but I just do. I guess I'm just writing this here because I'm a little lost. I'm too ashamed to talk about it with anyone else I know apart from my mom and my husband. She doesn't tell me anything, and my husband keeps insisting that everything will be fine and for me not to worry about it too much. And he is probably right. I just feel like me not worrying about this is just being inconsiderate to Rob again, which I think I would agree. I have to worry. I just don't know what to do. If someone has any idea of how I can make it up to him, I will greatly appreciate it. Edit. Literally 40 minutes after I uploaded this, my mom texted me saying that Rob wants to speak to me tonight. And there are some relevant comments and a big, juicy update. But Sophia, 1, is OP the a-hole?
Yeah, but they realized it now. Oh, it's so sad. It's so sad. Like, OP's definitely, I don't want to say that, like, I don't think I hate OP.
Yeah, OP's not hate-worthy. She's just dumb.
She's just, inconsiderate. And now she knows it. But, like, you hurt so many, you hurt Rob so much.
But the thing is, Rob is such a good guy. It's like, He's gonna forgive her, but you should.
It's
I
so
think
sad.
you should be worried.
Yeah.
Or you should be worrying, because I think that is what will give justice for Rob, as Jesse says.
Logan Badwolf says she can't go back in time. She needs to focus more on doing things with him. Daddy-daughter time. She adds up.
And also, reach out to him not for a thing.
Yeah.
Just reach out because you want to reach out. Like when I call my mom and dad all the time, and I'm just like, "What's up?
What's up?" Yeah.
It's not because I need something.
Yeah.
And I think like maybe that's all like Rob really wants. Is just he just wants to
be called. Well, I think
he just wants to know that he means something to you.
I think there's like two things, because she asks why. I don't know what triggered him when I called him, and he might have broken down afterwards, or I texted him. I think there's two different things that could have caused that. One, OP not bringing up the fact that she did wrong him, or two, her asking him for these simple kind of banal things, everyday things that you ask your dad for help, like asking about insurance. That's like something that you would go to a parent for, and he's like, wow, does she actually see me as a parent or not?
I think probably what happened is he was just he probably was just confused. I think what happened is he's like, does she care about me as much as I care about her? I think that the whole cutting him out of the wedding made him question that.
Yeah, no,
so
he's like, can I ever be a father in her eyes, or am I always just a stepfather?
Yeah. There was a comment from someone that I saw that was like, what you can do to make it up, throw Rob a party.
No, and then give him a speech.
Yeah. Yeah, MJ Lamb says Rob was feeling used. That's kind of what I thought initially. It's like, oh, she doesn't really care about me.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know if that necessarily was. I think he just I don't know if he felt used. I think he just was like, do I feel loved?
Yeah.
But we do have another bunch of relevant comments and an update. Riley, I heard you got a bum left shoulder. What happened?
Yeah, so I was doing CrossFit workout, doing some thrusters.
Oh yeah, yeah, thrust.
On my 9th rep, I went up and it went like this.
Ooh.
And my left shoulder just freaking gave out.
Oh.
Yeah, and it's been bothering me a lot, and I don't know what.
How
to
long
do with
ago
it.
was that?
It happened like 6 months ago, but
that's a while.
Yeah, I'm just ignoring it because I'll get stronger. I'll get better.
No. You shouldn't ignore it. You got to get that checked out.
Yeah, and you know where you need to go, Riley?
ZocDoc!
That's right. ZocDoc is a free app and website where you can search and compare highly rated in-network doctors near you.
And instantly book appointments to them online.
And these docs all have verified reviews from actual real patients.
We're talking about booking appointments with tens of thousands of top-rated, patient-reviewed, credible doctors and specialists.
And you can filter for ones that take your insurance.
And treat basically any condition you're searching for.
The typical wait time to see a doctor booked on ZocDoc is between just 24 and 72 hours.
Sometimes even the same day.
I use ZocDoc. We use ZocDoc. We should all use ZocDoc. Go check them out right now.
Go to ZocDoc.com/OKOP and download the ZocDoc app for free. Then find and book a top-rated doctor today.
That's ZocDoc.com/OKOP, ZocDoc.com/OKOP, and let's get back to the show.
But let's get into relevant comments. So, Odd Welcome 7940 says, good news, I bet Rob forgives you. Bad news, he doesn't see you as his daughter anymore. He probably never will.
I disagree with that.
I disagree with that intensely.
You don't know Rob.
You don't know Rob.
You don't know Rob like we do.
What you did can't be changed. You can't make up for it. You took the man who gave you more than any other man ever and took him for granted. You will never be able to undo it, fix it, or make up for it. I don't agree with this. Even worse, even after all that, he hoped you would realize your mistake and he would feel like he raised you well enough to figure it out and try to fix it. He now feels that you don't see him as a dad, which maybe he does, but also that it is 100% his own fault for failing you as a dad. I suggest you just pray someday he sees your kids as grandkids and is the amazing grandpa he can be for them. Other than that, go see a therapist and figure out what is wrong with you, because this isn't a singular mistake inside of a small moment. This was a series of repeated decisions and honestly shows you have a lot to work on.
I disagree.
I disagree with a lot of that.
Yeah.
What do you disagree with?
One, Rob, we know Rob, and he's a forgiving guy.
He's a forgiving guy.
I don't think that he doesn't think of OP as not his daughter. I think he thinks that OP doesn't think of him as a father. Two, I don't agree that OP can't do anything to fix this. I think she has to do a lot.
Yeah.
I think she has to put in the work. I think she can fix it.
Exactly.
I think to say that she can't fix it is even more selfish.
And I think there's a lot of ways you can fix it. Tiny Cactus has a great way. Name all of your kids after Robin,
Rob,
Robina, Robert, Roberta.
Bob.
Yeah, I think that's one way to do it. And then Burb BBs says, I just can't get over the fact that Opie's husband tried to point out to her before it ever happened. Was she truly that oblivious? And Revolutionary Hat 8988 says, I want to hug Rob. We all need a Rob in our lives. And there is an update. Radish says classic Reddit. Yeah, Reddit is always
just says,
way
bad take.
too mean and like way too cruel.
Yeah.
I think Reddit is like the least forgiving platform ever. And I think something we try to do on the show is be more forgiving. Like, I think we should all be more forgiving of people who transgressed us. And
to use some of my 14 years of Catholic upbringing, let ye who is the one without sin cast the first stone.
Yeah, there we go.
I was a little stuttered.
I was like, hell yeah. Yeah, I feel like it's really important to live a good life, to be forgiving. If we want to live a better life, live like Rob lives.
Yeah,
be more like Rob. What would Rob do? And that's probably what should be done.
No, I think a lot of times, I agree. When people read these stories, and sometimes when people who watch our stories, they're very quick to judge. And I think that just to take a second and be like, okay, is there have I always been perfect? Is there any grace I can give them?
And I think something that some people, I've noticed, I get a lot of comments where it's like, I can't believe you would support blah 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 this person. And I think it's like trying to see things from other perspectives actually makes you the most empathetic person possible.
Yeah.
And I think that's like one of the most important lessons to learn in life is empathy.
I think it's also important to note that you don't have to agree with someone or with a person's actions to have empathy for them.
Exactly. Yeah. Like you can say that was dumb.
Yeah, that was a move.
And I totally would have done that when I was younger and stupider.
Yeah.
There is an update 3 days later. First, I want to say some things before posting. No, I am not Linda. My biological father isn't dying. Got a DM in here asking. I guess that was another story. My sister is mostly just sad, not really mad at me. Just said she understood my situation, but it still was really crappy seeing her father taken for granted and sad. My mother is the person most pissed off at the moment. She is the only one that still does not talk to me. I mean, she does, but not really. For the people saying my husband and mother were for not talking to me before, they agree and have told me this. My husband specifically. I'm not trying to shift blame here, just saying this for the people that talked about it. I was not going to post anything else on here, not a fan of being called names, and for people to keep saying that Rob should leave our family.
Oh my God, what are these
Redditors?
People? What are you doing?
You?
Wait a minute, who are you?
Not a fan of being called names. Although I'm well aware that I deserve most of everything that was said about me. The comments saying the apple doesn't far fall from the tree in regards to me and my biological father were the ones that hurt the most.
Oh, that would be a knife to the heart.
And it is a fear of mine and the reason I don't drink much and don't use any substances or anything that could be addictive. But seeing how there are other things that could make us more similar than I realized is really frightening. The day I posted here, my mom told me Rob wanted to speak to me and to go to their home after work. I went and waited for Rob to arrive. When he did, my mom left us alone and he started off by saying that he was hurt by what I did at the wedding, that he knows he is not my father and that he would never try to force that on me, but that he at least thought he had some sort of importance in my life, and seeing me just not give him any importance apart from talking to him when I needed help with something made him realize that I did not view him the way he thought I did.
So we were right.
What? That, yeah.
That he thought,
he's sad that he thought she viewed him as a
father, and she didn't. Or to his mind, she didn't.
At this point, I was already crying so much that I couldn't even talk. I waited for him to finish, and when he did, I just told basically what you all saw in the post, that I effed up so bad that I was inconsiderate, that he is one of the most important people in my life, and that what I did was unforgivable. The only reason I'm posting it here is because of something he said during the conversation. He said something about my time at college. And I went, but that was because, and stopped. He asked me, what? Because of what? I just said, nothing. You were right. That was my fault and I should have done better. He was pretty angry at that point and he started to smile. And we talked about me taking responsibility for my actions. It's something that I am terrible at. It was an issue at my old job, and since then I have been trying to get better at it, but not very successfully. He asked what changed, and I told him about the post. Multiple people in the comments said that I don't take responsibility, and yes, they read right right through me. I showed it to him, and reading the post calmed him down. And no, he did not read the comments, just the ones I showed to him. I would not let him see what some of you were saying about my mom. So yes, he told me if I was going to say something else, to thank you for calling me out for not taking responsibility.
Yeah.
So OP's like basically saying thank you to Reddit for the people that actually did give valid criticism.
Yeah.
And we're like, you're not taking responsibility. You need to do that.
Yeah.
We talked about a lot of other things not related to the wedding. At the end, I just told him that there were 2 things I wanted to say to him to take away from this conversation. Here are the 2 things. I really did mean it when I was in high school and said I wished he was my dad. Even now, with my biological dad in my life, I still feel that way. And the second thing is, I know that it'll be hard for him to believe it right now because of what happened, but I will try to prove it to him for as long as it takes that Rob is her dad. For those interested, I've been going to a therapist with my biological father once every 2 weeks since he came back, but I think I need one for myself, so I will try to make that happen soon. I want to thank 3 particular commenters that helped me. 1, the person that told me to take it slow with Rob and DM'd me to stop looking at the thread because I was spiraling. Good idea. 2, the people that said, people F up, sometimes badly, but in a loving and caring family, it's never the end of things as long as you're willing to own your own mistakes.
I agree.
Agreed. And 3, and most importantly, the best comment that was fair and gave me the right advice. You are a spoiled, selfish, childish person. I don't know that Rob will forgive you, but you can't simply wait to see if he does. Write him a letter in which you fully own up to your awful behavior. Do not say, I wish someone had stopped me. That isn't taking accountability for the way you treat people. With him and your mom paying for your wedding and your in-laws paying for your house, you need to grow up and reflect very seriously on how you interact with everyone around you. I guess the post served as the letter in the scenario. Thank you. That was a slap in the face. I needed to realize that I needed to do a lot of work to improve myself and that the wedding was not its own thing. So like, yeah, it's true. The wedding is a like resemblance. It is an amalgamation of everything that you've been doing to Rob, taking him for granted.
Yeah.
It is a reflection of who I am right now. And I don't like what I see when I look in the mirror. Also, Rob more or less told me something similar, just not as aggressive. So this comment made me take his words as not him attacking me, but trying to help me understand my flaws. I'm not sure how I'll make up for this. Rob is telling me that over time, just me being how I was before my biological showed up will be enough for him. I don't doubt him, but it's not enough for me. I will live with what I did for the rest of my life. I will always remember. The way I am now, I actually need people to call me out for this kind of thing, and it's not fair to them. I will work on it. I have to. I will try my hardest to not hurt anyone like this that I love ever again. Thankfully now I have someone in my husband to help me do that and call me out if needed. Thank you. And there are some relevant comments to close this out. Not an OP says, you're going to feel like crap on your sister's wedding day. And Good Queen Fluff and Chop says, sis is definitely going to go above and beyond to make sure her dad knows he is loved and honors. And the walk down the aisle and father-daughter dance will be the most lovely. Copilot says, yes, then he'll realize that someone loves him. They're
Rubbing
really
salt
dunking.
in the wound.
I don't... Reddit, come on!
Okay.
OP's trying.
I feel like at the end of the story, we know that OP massively effed up, but
Yeah.
like they grew.
Yeah, Linda's saying, grow!
They grew. We don't have to kick them while they're down.
Yeah, kick them while they're... If you kick someone while they're growing, you might destroy the seeds of something beautiful.
That was gorgeous.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks, John. Yeah.
She made a horrible mistake, and she's learning and she's growing. And if we beat up a person while they're trying to learn and grow, no one will ever
Learn and grow. We need to make sure people learn and
What?
grow. What?
Just it took a minute.
What?
Nothing going. You're doing great.
I think that was great, Sophia. If you don't let people meander and learn and grow in their sentence, they'll never
Yeah.
finish their thought
You
right.
had an incomplete thought. That was the thought that Sam just said.
No.
Sophia, it was great.
No.
Like, you know that the Michael Scott thing where he's like, I just start a sentence and I want to see where it goes? That was what that was.
She completed the thought. Yes, it was my thought, but don't kick her while she's growing. She's completing thoughts now. That's good.
I was just emphasizing the thought.
It was just like, that's what happened.
Okay.
Sophia, I love you and support your thoughts.
Being mean to me
Yeah.
about my.
I
you
just
know
saw
what?
the wheels turning. I didn't say it was a bad thing. It was just funny how it got there.
You're being
Anyway,
inconsiderate.
you know what I want to hear? I want to hear more of Sophia because she's going to read this next story.
Oh, well, it sounds like I have 2 people in this room that don't want to hear my thoughts.
Who? John and Riley?
Yeah,
They're
the
just a bunch of
culprits.
thoughts, those hoes over there. Linda, thanks for the $2. Our family is awesome. Darn tootin', the OK fam is a beautiful thing. And And I hope you guys like, for everyone who's new here, these are the episodes that we record. They're going to be released. This is the members only stream where we record episodes that are going to be released in like 1 or 2 weeks. So you will be immortalized in OK Storytime history, because we're going to read comments and interact with you guys. And actually, maybe we do a call right now with someone on the wheel.
No one wanted to call in, so we don't have anyone lined up.
Oh, okay. Well, if you want to call in on the next one, we'll bring you up here.
Bring you.
Yeah. So DM Riley, please, if you want to give your thoughts on this next story.
But let's get into it. Am I the a-hole for wanting to break up with my fiance for being graysexual?
What does that mean?
Sounds like older people with gray hair.
No.
Oh, it's like being into only old folks?
I
only want to date people over 70?
I think it is your sexuality. It's a bit like asexual. I could be wrong with this. I think it's asexual, but like your sexuality is constantly on like a spectrum. And
Boo!
it changes.
I think it's old people.
Okay. I think it's like it changes. Like it's on like the scale of gray, you know? It exists. Like you could have a higher libido and you could have a lower.
Well, let's see.
So my fiance and I have been together for 8 years. She is my best friend in the entire world. Our personalities are perfect for each other and we get along amazingly well.
Awesome.
Okay, great.
Nothing will go wrong.
Ever. She makes me a better person and I make her a better person. Everybody we know and meet loves us and thinks we're perfect for each other. And we are due to be married in 6 months and the guest list is 200 plus and everyone is extremely excited for it, including us. It's a big party.
It's a big wedding.
To be fair, I feel like either of our weddings will.
Oh yeah, any Donner wedding is going to be
giant.
massive.
Giant. But there is a concern that as we get closer to the wedding is really starting to plague my thoughts. When we began our relationship, she had 0 sexual experiences, none. Not even with herself. She's never even, what's another word for that?
Touched herself.
Touched herself. Yeah.
What? That's another way to say it.
Never even touched herself in her entire life. I was a virgin too, but had a few experiences with other girls. So her stipulation was that we couldn't sleep together until we were together for a year. Okay, that's fine by me. So a year comes and it happens and we start doing it semi-regularly, but not too often. And I couldn't say exactly how much because it's been 7 years now, almost, but maybe once a week. Okay,
so it started off as once a week, but now it's been 7 years since
they
that
have been
happened.
together for 8
7
years.
Okay.
Yeah, and they're not married yet, but like about a year into the relationship, they started sleeping together.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's where we're at.
Tiny
But maybe
Cactus says
once
she
a week.
never flicked her bean. I don't think so.
Okay.
She never flicked her tiny cactus.
My ideal is maybe 2 to 4 times a week, but she doesn't care if I shuck it. So whatever at that point. Then she goes on birth control, 3-year injection, and I feel like it slowed down a bit, but not too terribly. And it was kind of negligible at that point because the birth control allowed me to, I don't
Come inside.
want to know. Sleeping together has always been consistently great the entire relationship, and we both enjoy it. And what's another word?
Do the big O. We gave Sophia the wrong story.
Both
great.
do the big O at the same time while she uses a vibrator. If she doesn't do the I feel guilty.
You chose the story.
I know. I didn't really read too far into it. Anyway, over the next few years, it kind of became sparse and was really frustrating getting rejected all the time, and it became a big fighting point between us. And to keep things short, it still is. At some point in those years, the BC was removed, birth control was removed, and another one was put in. In the past couple years, since we have both turned 21, wait, when did they start dating? Was it 8 years before they were 21?
Maybe they started at maybe it was like they were 18 or 18 around, and then it's been 3 years. It's been another 4 years or something.
I think that kind of changes. If they're under 18, it kind of changes the her not wanting to sleep with him. Like that.
Yeah,
kind
and
of does
also
change
like
a
the
lot.
body experimentation.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like some people didn't start exploring their bodies until 16.
In the past couple years, since we have both turned 21 and started to go out, we averaged maybe once a week again for the past 2 years or so. Still not enough for me to be completely satisfied, but better than nothing. Yeah, given OP's username.
Yeah. I love corn. 69 420.
He's like, I have a problem with my wives or my future wives. There are still stretches where we can reach a month with no sex, leading to fights and resentment. Also, definitely worth mentioning is that almost every time we sleep together, it's after drinking. When she is usually pretty drunk, which doesn't make me feel good about myself very much. That's a problem. You shouldn't be really sleeping together when your partner's drunk, and you definitely shouldn't only be sleeping together when your partner's drunk.
I think it would be sad to only sleep
That
with
would
someone
be
while they're
really,
drunk.
yeah, I feel really bad for OP because I think where I am right now, this relationship might not be able to continue.
Maybe they can talk about it. They can talk about it.
They should talk first.
They should talk.
First.
I mean, like,
they should go to therapy.
I mean, it sounds like they're having fights about it, so they're probably therapy.
Yeah. I didn't mind at first, but now that it's basically every single time, it's not nearly as enjoyable.
Lissandra Rivera says he sounds like a child still. He's 21 or like 22.
22.
Yeah.
It basically
He
is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Miss J. Bird says, ooh, this situation is a big problem. Their libidos don't line up. Yeah.
Yeah. 16 plus 8 years equals 24. They were 21 a few years ago.
This is, tough. I have, of course, tried to bring up various solutions to her over the years, such as removing the birth control early, going to therapy, talking to her doctor about it, and other options. She has always seemed apprehensive at the idea of doing something about her low libido because I think she believes that is the way she is and that I should have to accept that. But I've gotten so tired of shucking
it.
for so long that I've pretty much given up doing it with any sort of regularity, which has made my resentment and frustration, even with having slept with her once a week, increase quite a bit in recent months. So I've started to develop doubts about spending the rest of my life with someone who is, one, has a totally opposite libido to me, and two, is not interested or even willing to do anything about it.
Really quick, pausing right there. I think it is fine for people's, situations to change libido wise, but if it becomes a problem for your partner,
especially if it's messing with your life, just mind,
you should,
I guess, and it's depressing you.
Yeah, I mean, it's, if you want to be in a partnership with someone, you have to make sure the partnership makes both people happy and that someone's not just frustrated. So it's like,
yeah, because it sounds like neither of you are happy. She's having to get drunk to sleep with you, and I doubt it. She's enjoying it.
And I think this is it seems like beforehand they were having also good sex beforehand.
There's also a world where her being on birth control, because birth control can change
libido.
can decrease libido and can change your
But the thing that's an issue here is she's not willing to talk about it.
No, that is the problem.
And so if you can't even talk about it,
then you're at a standstill.
You're at a standstill. And if you're at a standstill for too long, it just might not be worth continuing the relationship.
Because this isn't fair to him.
Luckily, they're young.
Yeah.
So that's good. But Helena Bain says, they need a sex therapist or a dominatrix. I was talking to this dominatrix and she said that she does couples. So maybe that's that.
Are you still doing that?
Yeah, in June.
Wow.
Now when I'm out drinking, I've noticed I've started looking at other girls and wondering about them, wondering if maybe they had a higher libido than my fiance. No, I would never cheat, but I love her so much that I feel like a piece of crap for even thinking about not marrying her because of spicy sleep and extra crap when I wonder about other women. Not to mention the money spent on the wedding already and the dozens and dozens of people that would probably hate me for doing this to their friend, daughter, cousin, niece, granddaughter, and would never forgive me. Not to mention what they would think if she actually told them the reason. Plus our 2 cats. Where do I go from here? And that is the end of the story. There is a tiny baby edit. Yes, once a week is adequate for me. The problem is that it's only that much because we go out drinking every weekend and she gets drunk. Nix the alcohol, and I can't say for sure that we would ever sleep together.
Rough. I mean, it's just something you need to talk about.
I think, you talk about it, go to therapy. If she is still not willing to, talk about it and you can't find a middle ground, then you guys might just not be a fit for each other.
Yeah, they started dating so young.
Yeah, 8 years and they're 24.
Yeah. And I think
they're getting married.
Yeah. I think you should also, the time is now to get these situations figured out. If there is a time to figure this out, it's before you get married. So yeah, I think you need more than a heart to heart. You need to say hey, you need to say what you said to us, right? Hey, I think our libidos are mismatched and I'm feeling sexually frustrated. I'm starting to I'm not proud of this, but I'm starting to look at other people in the relationship, and I'm questioning whether I should even get married if this is what it's going to be like, that is going to be a hard truth to admit. But I think it's way better to do that now than to wait until you're even more frustrated.
Yeah.
But yeah, I want to know what all of you think. And specifically, I believe we're going to call someone and see what they think. A member of the Lil Sillies.
Yeah. Also,
and non-snow.
Oh, I was just going to read one of them.
Oh, and non-snow TLDR, and with the a-hole for wanting to break up with my fiance for being graysexual. So basically for not
being on the asexual spectrum.
Yeah. And I don't know if that is like a fully true thing. It's just like has a lower libido than OP.
Yeah, I think that OP seemed to like label it. We don't know. We didn't find out in the story if OP's fiance labeled it that way. However, I think someone said it in the chat, like she might be trying to figure out her sexuality. And if she comes out of it like, I am asexual, I am not interested in sex, or like I have a much lower libido, like I'm, on the graysexual scale, that is totally fine, but it just might not be a fit for this relationship.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just Cat says it's kinder to speak that hard truth, which I completely agree.
Because you don't want to hurt both, like you would hurt both of you if you continue that relationship on this unsteady ground.
Yeah. But Riley.
Ready?
I'm so ready.
All right, we got Worm Maiden Aoki.
Oh, let's go.
Worm Maiden, how are you? Hello, Aoki.
I'm all right. How are you guys?
Good.
Hello, very well. So, also nice to talk to you again. So, a question for you: do you think OP and OP's soon-to-be wife should break up? How do you think they should navigate this mismatch of libido?
They should not break up, not right away anyway. They should go to therapy, specifically sex therapy. I have a hella low libido. My husband could like 8 times a day if I let him, like easy. So, there is give and take. There's obviously give and take. If she wants to be in this relationship, she's going to work harder to meet his needs, and he's going to work harder to make sure that she feels safe, for lack of a better word. And if they're not willing to do that, then yeah, break up.
So have you been to a sex therapist before?
Yes.
What was your experience there? Like, what did you learn? Like, what were some helpful tools that when you went there,
For
like
me,
you learned?
Specifically, I have the low self-esteem, right? Which makes me feel like not attractive. There was a lot of learning to accept yourself and accept your partner's love for you, because obviously they see something in you that they find attractive. So just because you don't doesn't mean it isn't there.
I feel like it's a beautiful realization to have, because it's like you think it's about just like your sexual chemistry, but there's so many things that are underneath that are causing these dynamics to happen.
And if she's just asexual or close to asexual, then that's another conversation they need to have, right?
Yeah.
But you
and
can't
regardless
just not talk
of
to her about it.
if they go to sex therapy, regardless, they will learn all of those things that they need to navigate this relationship.
Yeah.
If that means staying together or splitting up.
No, it could be either she's asexual, or it could be the birth control is having an effect. It could be a number of issues, and I think they have to talk about that and figure that out.
That is great advice. Also, it's cool that you had that experience and could share a little bit of that. Thank you so much for giving your perspective.
No worries. Talk to you guys later.
Talk soon.
Bye.
Later.
Love you. Bye.
Bye. Love you. Bye.
Bye.
It's cool. Like Aoki's like, oh, I've literally had this experience. We have mismatched libidos, and we're able to work through it because we were both willing to participate in communication, and we're willing to go to a sex therapist who made us realize it's it's about so many things that are deeper than just sexual chemistry.
Yeah, and if whatever you find out is not wrong.
Yeah,
So,
that's
I think,
awesome. I love having call-outs with you guys. This is so sick. All right, so let us go in to this next episode. All right, so my dad has 2 wives. What should I do? And this comes from No Platform 2268. And guess what? They're a member of our Little Sillies. They submitted to r/OKOP show, the best subreddit here on Reddit. If you want to submit your story, go to r/OKOP show and submit it there. And they say, hi guys and Sophia.
Hello.
It's Alluring Undead. Alluring Undead, are you here? Are you here with us? Are you here in the room? I thought you would like to hear about my dad and his wives.
Yeah.
We would. Years ago, when I was a teenager, my mom and dad got a divorce. A few months later, my dad wanted to introduce us to his new girlfriend. Do we think there was cheating involved? A few
Yeah.
months later? I don't know.
Yeah,
We went to her work. She was a server in a restaurant. She was nice enough, but we didn't think anything of it. He wasn't cheating on my mom.
Okay.
That's good. Okay. A couple of years later, they ended up getting married. She doesn't have any children, and all 3 of my dad's kids were in the wedding. Of course, we were all angsty teenagers and really didn't like her because we thought she was trying to be our mom. Mom and dad couldn't stand each other, but they always put us kids first and never badmouthed the other parent. They would always tolerate each other for graduations and stuff like that. My dad and stepmom were even invited to my mom's family reunions. That first year was really awkward. Eventually, I decided that I couldn't stand the freezing cold north anymore, so I moved south, got married, had babies, and got a divorce. Wow, full life cycle of a relationship. My mom moved to my state so that she could help and be able to see her grandchildren. I couldn't afford to live on my own, and my mom had the money to buy a house. My girls and I moved in with her. My dad and stepmom decided that they really needed to bury the hatchet, not Rachel the axe hatchet. I love all of these inside jokes. This is awesome.
So funny.
And my mom figured it had been long enough and agreed. My dad and stepmom used to bring their RV to a close by RV park, but the park decided they didn't want children in the park anymore, so my mom offered to let them park their RV in her backyard. They would stay for several months at a time.
Why did you say it like that?
Because I was reading it wrong. Dad would help with projects around the house, and my stepmom would keep my mom company, and for 1 year, even got a job at mom's work to help out. They became such good friends that when my mom won a trip to Mexico from work, she took my stepmom.
Whoa.
Whenever my mom goes back to her home state, my dad and stepmom always offer a room to her. Now, every time my family goes out to a restaurant or something, my dad tells the servers that they are his 2 wives.
Okay, this is more wholesome, I suppose, than I thought it was going to be.
But do you think there's spicy sleep happening with all of them?
Damn. I don't know.
Chat, I want to know from you. Do you think there's spicy sleep happening? And also, alluring undead, do you think
Do you think?
they're all hooking up together? Or is it just like, oh, they're all friends. They're just good friends.
They're
not
just
good
pals.
friends. They're just pals.
We're just 2 friends.
Yeah. Love Bubble says, Polly? Maybe. I have no idea. I think it is a real possibility. But also, I love hearing from our fans. Alluring undead, thank you for submitting your story. Well, I think that's a wrap on this episode. So if you love us, make sure to subscribe.
We love you.
And see you tomorrow.